So this is the process I use to take, say, a snaky, wonky, twisted, off-center bow and turn it into an object of straightness prior to shaping it, gull winging it, or however it's going to be. My barbecue grill, that's what I use for heat. If it's a concentrated form of heat I need, more than like a longer length, I'll use my chimenea, that steel kind of outdoor fireplace with a chimenea, you know, so I can really direct heat. But for like general straightening, there goes my aluminum foil. I'll use that. And my shaving bench, shaving horse, whatever you want to call it, where if I've got like this big twist, I'll get it hot over a distance, and then I'll clamp it down, and then clamp it down with a second Jorgensen clamp. You know, and basically, by and large, straighten the bows. Although it is set up for just like spot straightening. Now these things are almost tillered. They're thinned down, and so it doesn't take a whole lot of like heat injected into a thick piece of wood. It's not like that. These are thin, so I can use my heat gun right here, clamped into it just to do a little bit of spot straightening. Why is that important? I'm going to gull wing it. You know, why do I have to get this thing perfectly straight before I unstraighten it? Well, the dealio is, let me get my aluminum foil and put it back on here. And I have foil on my grill, so if I rest the bow on it, I'm not going to get like all that greasy, dirty stuff all over it. That's nice, clean foil. But before I answer why am I straightening them completely before I unstraighten them, this scheme is set up to just get a little bit of propeller twist out. And this had a little tiny bit of reflex right in there. And so I'll hit it. Bottom and top. This will tell me which direction I need to twist it. I'm a pusher, not a puller. And so I can control this to get this bend out of it, and then just overdo it a little bit. I know, pushing. I analyze this thing. I need to push it to get what minor propeller twist out of it that I need. Now this goes into another question that I've had. Let me duck down so you can see my whole face. How do I tiller a Gullwing bow? Well, kind of, I don't. I tiller a D bow. I want to have this thing tillered as a straight bow because it's easier to see than trying to, you know, figure out, which I can. You know, final tillering after sinew backing, I can see how it flexes. But it's much easier to see this. So I put in just some little groovy things there just so I can attach the string. Before I get into the tillering portion where I actually sew you on a tillering stick, though, I'm going to explain. You haven't seen this on a Gullwing bow, this style of tips, before. If you look up on my channel how to make bent tab tips, that's what these are going to be. This outer portion, it's going to be like a pin knock sort of thing, and then they're going to be bent up. Did they do that on Northern Plains horse bows? Did the Assiniboine do that in Montana or North Dakota or Saskatchewan or Alberta or Manitoba? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Probably not. Did they do it down in Texas or Oklahoma, Colorado, Utah? I don't know. Probably not, but maybe they did. It's a really cool effect where you've got this nice gull wing, maybe even a 5-bend Cupid's bow with recurves, and you've got these bent tabs, which is more of a West Coast feature on the little paddle bows and their little pyramid bows where, boing, they click it up, or they bend it up. The sinew keeps it intact. You can literally cut all the way through when you're making that V-notch to bend it. It's happened to me a lot. I've done this many times. You just glue it, and then the sinew keeps it intact, and then you put a wrapping of very thin deer rawhide over it. Protects the sinew string if you go that route, but it's like a super sweet way of doing it. Let's get into, and again, you've never seen it before, let's get into how I tiller it. This is not groundbreaking. Bent tabs on a Gullwing, yeah, that's groundbreaking. That's cool. But it's a matter of, okay, got a string here, and I never string a bow. I mean, brace it that way. I'm stringing it, but I'm not bracing it before the bow is done. In Osage, no big deal. But if you were to floor tiller and knee tiller a maple bow, and then I'm just going to string it up, generally you're going to find that one limb will stay straight and the other one's got a major wonk in it. You may have just damaged your bow. So I never brace it until it's balanced on this thing. Well, let's see here. Pull it back a little bit. You know, it's not bad, but I can see where there's some stiff spots. Now on one of these short bows, I like to have it barely, imperceptibly bending in the handle. I'm flexing the handle, setting it back, as some would say. If you've got too much bend in here, there's too much stress in that center portion, you risk pulling that reflex out. Other reasons for that. I like to actually have it almost elliptical tillered, where barely any bend here. And this could be considered a tillered bow, it's that close. But a little more bend, a little more bend, a little more bend, and then no bend near the tips. It doesn't look, it looks like it's a little stiff here, although it could be, it's not perfectly straight. Let me do the peep test. Yeah, it's a little stiff out there, but yeah, more or less, that's how I tiller them. I pre-tiller them. I'm not going to go too crazy with it. I could pull it back all the way. It's Osage, one growth run. Yeah. What tool am I going to use? I could use a scraper, of course, but you know, it's so close. 60 grit on my rubbery sanding block. This thing is, see, it's flexible. Seems to work faster than a dead flat one, like a piece of wood. And now it's just a question of I'm not gonna, I need to concentrate on this, so I'm not gonna do it while I'm videoing. But yeah, I need to get more bend near the tips. That is, oh, I just watched. I'm gonna finish watching it. I watched quite a bit of it. Awesome video. This is awesome video. Go right to it after mine. How to Build a Longbow by Kentucky Afield. You know, it's funny. You probably watch the same videos I do, right? But yeah, How to Build a Longbow by Kentucky Afield. After I do this, I'm gonna jump now and not do it this step and then this step and this step and complete these two bows at once. And Will, by the way, this is your twofer. You mentioned that you wanted to pinch grip it, right? Now that first bow that's in there, it's a heavy bow. And in my estimation, that exceeds the draw weight of an actual bow that you would have found on the northern plains or midwestern plains or Great Basin or any native bow. It's a heavy bow. And it's really, unless you're like the Incredible Hulk, out of the range of pinch gripping. You're not going to pinch grip a 70, 75 pound bow. And my personal belief is that, seriously, that's out of the range, draw weight range of an actual authentic bow, and you're into authentic stuff. And I have to admit, I'm not going to hide this fact from people. It's like sometimes I make a bow and I brace it, and that the bend in it, the shape, does not please me. That the bow, shooting wise, can make me happy, but looking at it doesn't make me happy. And so you are getting a twofer, and you're not paying a single cent more. You're getting two bows. You're getting that heavy bow with, I would honestly have to say, it's got an ugly bend in it. And it's because the limb had a definite gink, which reasonable would happen. People would use it. But it doesn't have the straightness of this bow, which means this is going to have a prettier curve in it. And it's also going to be a lighter weight bow, not light, but lighter, that is in the range of actually pinch gripping it. So you're getting a twofer. That's where you stand. You're not paying a single cent more. No arguments. This is Carlos's bow. And it's a little bit longer than Will's twofer here. I want to, in order not to have a bow with an ugly bend, I'm going to take these things one at a time. Let me know if you want to have those. I'm going to be kind of off color here. The sweet ass tips with the bent tab. Those are cool, and nobody can prove that they weren't seen in the Northern Plains. You can't prove they weren't. You can't prove they were. You know, but they're cool. Yep, it is time. Oh man, last bit. This thing was all sorts of wonky, and plus I had to get a side bend out of it. It was nowhere near lined up through the tips and the handle. It was like way off. But when I was, which limb was it? I can't even tell now. It had this weird roller coaster in it that I used my grill to get out. What was I going to say about this? I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, I also put a side bend in it. I had this, I think it was this limb. This thing was just one big ugly Osage roller coaster, right? Clipped it down after I heated it on my grill. Forced this down, flattened it. And the jorgets and clamps on this cedar bed, I like the cedar bed, cedar ramp, because it doesn't dent wood. I was able to then yank it sideways, sight down it, get it straightened. So yes, you can get a side bend widthwise obviously. In this thing, you get them hot on the grill, and then you can yank it sideways, and you can straighten a D-bow to align the string through the handle. Nothing but a thing. It's a good sign that I can't tell which limb had the roller coaster. Although this one has slight propeller twist, I might then just secure it here, heat it, and then twist to flatten it. Or I can just wait to do it when I deflex the limbs for gullwinging it. This is interesting. These things are about the same thickness, right? Same thickness as this one. Different length. This one's longer. This was is a lot stiffer. Kind of shows you the variability of stiffness between Osage trees. I'm done talking now. Go to How to Build a Longbow by Kentucky Afield. It'll be worth it.